Hello, everyone. My name is Dave Sprague. Welcome to Clarity 16 4.0 Supportability Training. In this section, we are going to cover reporting, but we'll look at what we consider some general enhancements. And they fall into these three items. First off, we're going to take a look at the report designer and the new capabilities that allows them to manage saved filters. Basically, ability to edit and edit save filter names and delete a save filter. There's also a filter chip count, which is visible to the designer and the report viewer. Next, we'll talk about how the report level filter capability had really been relocated to the report level, like the header, moving it from the flyout. So it has a more prominent position, and you can apply filters that then apply to all contents on the page. In addition to the header, including the report level filter capability, there is also the ability to set period information that impacts all widgets and a unit of measure in terms of like FTE or days, for example, or hours. Okay, so let's jump into it. So here we are, we're looking at 16.4, and I want to draw your attention to the header of this particular report. We're in edit mode now, and I can see this banner across the top. I've got a publish date, I've got my unit of measure selection, and I've got a period pull down, which gives me all the normal capabilities you would expect to pick duration or periods or what have you. And then the other element here is the filter capability. This has been moved to the top. And the addition here for this release is the ability to manage your filters. Let me jump over to 16.3.3 just to show a preview of this. I go into my filters. You can see I just have a button here at the top, and it opens it up in the flyout. And I can look at my save filters, but I can just, I have save as. So I'm like adding filter chips. And then if I want to name it something, I do a save as, and then that saves that collection of filters, filter chips with that name. So back to 16.4, you can see I've got an additional capability here to manage the filters. So I have my filter chip button here. Number one, it tells me I have 7 filter chips applied. Regardless if they're hidden or not, you can see that many of these are using the hidden icon. This one is locked, and then the other 2 on the top row are hidden, but not the bottom one here for the investment name. So if I were to come in and look at corporate, or let me go to lead managers. I have 7 filters here, but I can add another filter chip, and you'll see that the save button is now enabled, and preview and publish are disabled. I haven't added anything yet to apply. I'm just kind of changing the filter to be adding another chip. But if I were to add a couple of elements from the pull down here for goal, you notice I'm going to get the apply button. So this is now my action to apply these new elements and return the changes to the report. The auto save capability that was available in the prior release is no longer in place. In order to return an updated report, you would select apply, and that would take care of it. You could also hit save, and it'll say, do you want to keep that name? Yes, I'll keep the name. And it will also apply the filter elements and update the report. And now you can see preview and publish being the main action, are now available. Let me do this again. I'm going to remove this filter chip, and you can see apply is available and save is available. And my filter name has kind of gone into an unsaved state of italics. And again, preview and publish are not available. I've got to save this filter, which could also include a change in unit of measure or period information. So if I come down here, I'll go periods, and I'll pick, just to keep it simple, fiscal calendar. I'll go duration, and we'll just say six periods. And I've got my normal kind of controls. I'll hit apply, and that indicates the range I want to use. You can see January 1 to June 30th. And then I'm going to hit save. Do I want to keep the name? Yes. And now that brings back everything related to this report using that updated filter. So if I come back to like corporate, you'll see I have the number of filter chips enabled. If I go to divisional, I have some more filter chips enabled. And as I mentioned, some of these are hidden. And I have my lead managers, which I've just updated with a period indicator. So at the end of the day, the manage is allowing me to edit the filters, in other words, rename them, or actually delete them in whole. So I'll just say corporate one, just to do that. I've done my save. I can also search for it if I have a number of if I have a number of filters here, I want to look for something. So that works great too. And so now I have my corporate one, and this is the item in view here. And then if I go to divisional, you can see the hidden. Now let me publish this. And I want to do one quick showing of the filter chip counter from the end user perspective, or the report viewer. So here I am. The report viewer now takes advantage of the period and unit of measure along with the filter listing in alphabetical order and the filter chip counter. So corporate one had the 7 filters available to them. I can just bring them up and they're all editable. I have one that's locked. I can only pick, it's picked for me as the user. If I switch to divisional, you'll notice the filter chip changed to 2 because it's only showing me the 2 that are presented, one of them being locked. The other that were hidden by the report designer are not here. So I'm getting that updated count. If I go into schedule as the report viewer, I also see the 2 chips available to me and the period information and the unit of measure. So all that's there. I can adjust it as I wish as I'm going into schedule. So there's flexibility there for the end user. So let's go back to the report designer. And I'll go into edit mode. Okay. So the other piece of this puzzle is the relocation, right? So obviously I've started out showing the filtering and whatnot at the header. Let me show, I think I showed this, that the filtering is handled at there's a button and you just go into the flyout. The other thing is the show filters and report for the end user, the viewer, and allowing that user to add or remove filters in the report. That's all from the flyout here. But if I go back to 16.4, those settings have been moved to here, filters. Show filters and report, and allow adding or removing. So that, just be aware of that in terms of those 2 Boolean options. And while I'm here, I wanted to talk about unit of measure. You can see the universe of unit of measures that are available here in reporting. I've only selected, for this particular report, I've selected the end user can use FTE or hours. And now by virtue of that setting, that's what shows up in here. If I added days, I now have a 3rd option available to me as the designer, but also more importantly to the report viewer. So we'll just take that away to be to show that. And I think I mentioned the relocation of the period information is now at the report level. So I do this once for all the content on the page. If I go back to 16.3.3 real quick, what I have to do is go into each individual widget and select the period information. So this has none, but as soon as I go into periods or duration, I've got all my available tools to me, but it's specific to this widget, right? Same thing. So I continue on to another widget, and it's specific to that widget. So let me go back to 16.4, and you can see the power of it being at the header level. I just apply a single set of period information that applies to all of the content. No longer am I having to pick these per period metrics unless I want to go to the widget level, of course, and override exactly what I want to do. Okay. So we've talked about the unit of measure, we've talked about the period selection, and we've talked about the report level filter selection, and the capability here for unit of measure, and where is that, how is that derived? Again, from the unit of measure selection over here. So that concludes the demonstration here, looking at report level filters in terms of managing them, using the filter chip count that's visible to the designer and the viewer, and then using the newly relocated report level configuration capabilities from the header, along with the period and unit of measure settings. Thank you very much.